In the rush of modern life, moments of calm are becoming rare. You might notice your mind jumping from message to task to memory without a pause, on the commute, after a tense conversation, or lying awake scrolling at night. This video offers simple, practical ways to find inner stillness so you can feel steadier, think more clearly, and sleep more easily. You will learn 3 short exercises you can do anywhere, learn to recognize common thinking habits that steal your calm, and build tiny routines that bring quiet into everyday moments. No complicated jargon, no long retreats, just clear steps and relatable examples you can try right away. If you want to meet stress with more presence and less reactivity, stay with me for the next few minutes. Why inner peace feels difficult in modern life. Modern life is built around constant stimulation, screens, alerts, schedules, and competing demands. Phones light up during meals and meetings, and the next task often arrives before the previous one is finished. This steady stream of inputs fragments attention and makes it harder to settle into quiet thought for even a few minutes. The sheer volume of information available now creates a kind of mental clutter. News feeds, emails, and opinion pieces arrive continuously, and choices multiply in everyday life: which brand to buy, which route to take, which show to watch. Decision fatigue is real. After so many small choices, people have less energy to decide how they want to feel or to practice calm. A friend may spend 20 minutes scrolling through streaming options and arrive more tired than before they started. Social comparison adds another layer of difficulty. Curated social media posts show polished moments, and it is easy to measure one's ordinary life against those highlights. That comparison can generate restlessness and a sense of not being enough. At the same time, screens often replace face-to-face interactions that once provided steady emotional support, so the reassurance that used to come from community is harder to find. Work and home boundaries have blurred for many, which pulls peace away from private time. Remote work or flexible schedules can sound freeing. In practice, though, the expectation to be available at all hours seeps in, answering a message after a child goes to bed, or checking emails on the couch between chores. Those small intrusions prevent the clear separation of roles that helped people recover mentally after a workday. Physical environments also matter. Urban noise, crowded spaces, and long commutes wear on the nervous system. Many people spend large parts of their day indoors under artificial light, with little contact with natural settings that calm the mind. Neighbors who rarely meet, frequent moves for jobs, and busy family schedules reduce the steady social ties that once offered comfort and a sense of belonging. Finally, there is a cultural habit of valuing speed and productivity over stillness. Multitasking is treated as a skill, and being busy is often worn as a badge of honor. Over time, that creates a pattern of reactivity, quick breaths, hurried meals, fragmented sleep. When the body stays in a heightened state, finding inner quiet requires extra effort, and the effort can feel like another item on an overflowing to-do list. Understanding emotional regulation. Emotions are the body's and mind's way of responding to what matters to us, and they shape how we act, speak, and feel in the moment. Emotional regulation is the set of skills people use to notice, manage, and respond to those feelings so that they are neither overwhelming nor suppressed. It does not mean getting rid of emotions. Instead, it means recognizing them early, understanding what they signal, and choosing actions that align with long-term values. Awareness is the first practical step. Pay attention to physical signs: tight shoulders, quickened breath, a churning stomach, because the body often reacts before the mind labels the feeling. Naming the emotion briefly, such as saying, "First feel frustrated," helps slow things down. A simple moment of breath or a short pause can change a reaction. For instance, a parent hearing a toddler cry and feeling instant irritation might take 3 slow breaths, notice the anger, and then respond with a calmer tone rather than snapping. There are different strategies that help in different situations. Short-term methods include grounding techniques, focused breathing, and stepping away for a few minutes. They reduce immediate intensity. Longer-term approaches involve changing how you interpret events, practicing new habits, and building supportive relationships. Cognitive reappraisal, viewing a stressful comment as constructive feedback rather than a personal attack, is one clear example. It takes practice to shift automatic interpretations, but repeated effort makes new responses easier. Real-life examples show how this works. At work, receiving blunt feedback can trigger shame or defensiveness. Pausing to note the emotion and asking a clarifying question often turns the exchange into a productive conversation. In traffic, anger can escalate quickly, putting on calming music, focusing on steady breathing, or planning a different route next time reduces repeated stress. During grief, allowing feelings to be present and seeking support from friends or a counselor supports healing more than trying to push feelings away. Daily habits support steady regulation over time. Keep a brief emotional check-in each morning and evening, jotting down what felt strong and what helped. Practice small pauses before replying to difficult messages. Role-play tough conversations quietly to rehearse calmer responses. Build a toolbox of resources, trusted people to call, physical activities to release tension, and phrases that help you reframe a moment. Progress is gradual. Be patient with setbacks, and recognize that small, consistent steps increase choice and inner steadiness. Letting go of internal resistance. Fighting uncomfortable feelings often makes them stronger and longer lasting. When someone keeps pushing away sadness or anger, the body and mind stay in a heightened state, which can show up as restless sleep, tense muscles, or repeated negative thoughts. For example, after a tense conversation at work, many people replay every line in their head and feel the same tightness in their chest the next morning. That replay is not a sign of weakness, it is a natural response that becomes a habit if we keep battling our inner experience. People resist in different ways, arguing with their own thoughts, trying to suppress memories, distracting themselves with screens, or rushing into busyness to avoid feeling. The physical signs are often clearer than the thoughts: a clenched jaw, shallow breathing, or an urge to flee. A parent who snaps at a child may then get caught in guilt, repeatedly telling themselves they are a bad parent instead of noticing the emotion and moving forward. Recognizing these patterns is the first useful fact. Resistance usually looks like action, doing something to avoid how you feel, and it usually adds to suffering rather than reducing it. There are simple, practical steps to loosen that grip. Pause briefly, take 3 slow breaths, and name what you are feeling. Say to yourself, quietly, "First I'm feeling anger," or "This is disappointment." Labeling an emotion reduces its intensity because it engages a different part of the brain that helps organize experience. Try the STOP exercise when emotions rise. Stop, take a breath, observe what is happening inside and around you, then proceed with what matters next. Short, deliberate pauses like this break the automatic chain of reaction and make space for a clearer choice. Another helpful tactic is urge surfing, which treats impulses like waves that crest and fall. If you feel the urgent need to send an angry message, notice the urge, describe the sensations in your body, and watch how the feeling changes over minutes. Often the intensity decreases on its own. Accepting an emotion does not mean you approve of it or will act on it. Acceptance simply means you stop using energy to fight the feeling and instead decide what to do next based on values and goals. After noticing anger, you might choose to write a draft message and wait, or to go for a walk first. Self-compassion supports this work in practical terms. Talk to yourself as you would to a friend who is struggling. If you make a mistake at a meeting, try saying aloud, "This is hard right now," followed by a small, concrete next step such as sending a clarifying email or asking for feedback. Journaling can help too. Write down the resistant thought, then ask what you would tell a friend who had that thought. Often this shifts perspective and reduces the internal fight. Daily practices build the muscle of letting go. A brief body scan before bed, mindful walking for 5 minutes, or a 2-minute breathing break at your desk are all effective. Real-life example: when stuck in traffic and feeling rising annoyance, turn on a calm podcast, breathe slowly for a minute, and label the feeling. Small choices like that weaken the habit of resistance over time. The aim is not to be perfect but to become less reactive, clearer in decision-making, and kinder to yourself. Practical ways to cultivate stillness. Short periods of quiet attention can reduce feelings of stress and help people notice what matters most in a busy day. Many accessible practices bring that calm into ordinary routines, without requiring special training or long hours. Try starting with brief, repeatable actions that fit the life you already lead. Begin with simple breath awareness. Sit or stand comfortably, close your eyes if that feels safe, and follow the flow of your breath for 1 to 5 minutes. A teacher might take 3 full breaths before opening the classroom door. A parent can pause for a single slow exhale before answering a child's call for help. These tiny pauses reset tension and make the next moment clearer. Create a dedicated small space for stillness at home or work. It need not be large. A chair near a window, a cushion on the floor, or even a particular corner of a bench will do. Place one object there: a plant, a smooth stone, or a cup, as a cue. A commuter who keeps a folded scarf in the bag uses it as a reminder to sit quietly on the train for 2 minutes before starting work. Include movement practices that emphasize slowness and attention. Walk slowly for a single block without checking the phone and notice the steps and breath. Gentle stretches or a short sequence of mindful motions at your desk can move tightness out of your shoulders. People who cook often report that chopping slowly and paying attention to smells and textures becomes a form of calm in the middle of a hectic evening. Set clear boundaries with technology to protect quiet time. Turn off non-essential notifications for set periods, or place the phone in a drawer during meals and conversations. A colleague might use an out-of-office style break, 20 minutes in the morning with no email checks, to begin the day with more focus. These small limits lower distraction and make stillness easier to find. When interruptions happen, return gently. The mind wanders. That is normal. Label the thought briefly, planning or worry, and bring attention back to the breath or to a single sensory detail, like the weight of your feet. One graduate student found progress by practicing 2-minute returns after each study session. The habit of returning mattered more than keeping perfect attention. Expect gradual change rather than instant transformation. Build tiny anchors, one mindful breath before answering a phone, a short body scan while waiting for water to boil, or a minute of listening without planning a reply during conversations. These practices add up, and over weeks they often create a quieter, more responsive interior life. Keep the tone gentle with yourself, and choose methods that fit your schedule so stillness becomes a natural part of ordinary days. We looked at practical ways to find stillness, slowing down long enough to notice your breath, allowing thoughts and feelings to be there without fighting them, and choosing small, regular practices that fit into your day. Simple habits, a 5-minute breathing pause before answering an email, noticing the feet on the floor while standing in line, or a brief evening ritual like a cup of tea before bed, can steady the mind over time. If you ever feel impatient with the process, remember that change comes from small, repeated steps rather than sudden fixes. Be gentle with yourself when you slip up. Curiosity beats judgment most of the time. If one technique doesn't fit today, try another tomorrow. If this video was helpful, please subscribe to stay connected and leave a comment about which practice you'll try this week. Your experience may help someone else. In future videos we'll offer short guided breathing exercises, simple ways to manage stress at work, and easy nighttime routines to support rest. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take a slow breath now, notice how it feels, and carry a little of this stillness into the rest of your day.